It's time to get your geek on with Dave Gremillion.
Yes, indeed. Love that Hendrix when it blares here. Love it, love it, love it. Welcome one, welcome all. I am David Gremillion, and welcome to Get Your Geek On, where we will talk Star Wars in a big way tonight. Star Trek, DC, Marvel, video gaming, really all things geek that have dominated this little world of ours. Geek, it's really not what it was 20 or 30 years ago. Geek, it's in. Geek is very in. Geek is now mainstream. We now have investment bankers on Wall Street who are wearing Avengers ties. You can see Flash t-shirts, Captain America t-shirts down on the Riverwalk. You can really see it anywhere and everywhere. The top grossing movies, they're all geeky. Merchandise sales, it's all geeky. Geek is in. And we are here to talk the very latest and greatest about geeks right here on AM 930 Talk Radio and AM 930 AMTheAnswer.com. All right, what do we have going on tonight here? Oh, goodness. First, what a week. Man, this has just been a week that I really want to forget in the worst way. I mean, you had the coup in Turkey. You had the attack in Nice, and that sucks. And Tim Duncan retired. That sucks. I mean, this is just a week I really want to get past. We're going to say farewell to Tim Duncan here on the show. But that's sports, and then it's not geek. It's Tim Duncan is a huge geek. And I don't mean it because he's 7 feet tall. Huge geek. Yeah, you can laugh at that. That's okay. I mean, he geeks out seriously. He had a Punisher knee brace at one time. He's a huge geek. He even was featured on a Punisher comic book cover, and we have a quote here from the artist in our little farewell to Tim Duncan. We have some huge Star Wars news we're going to cover. I mean, enormous galaxy-sized Star Wars news, courtesy of Celebration Europe. I want to update y'all on Pokemon Go. I've got some stats and figures here that is going to blow your mind about how big Pokemon Go is and how big the movement is to stop Pokemon Go. Yes, it has finally gone beyond social media posts by people saying, you 30-year-olds need to stop playing kids' games. No. It's actually, there is a movement to stop Pokemon Go. We're going to talk about that. Nintendo, in addition to Pokemon Go, is making money hand over fist. They're going to be releasing a certain special product that I'm going to beg my wife to let me get. Yeah, and Goose, my sound prognosticator, is vigorously nodding his head saying, please, please, please let me get it too. I've got some DC news because The Killing Joke is right around the corner. If you don't know what The Killing Joke is, you're missing out. But this is going to be fantastic. It's going to be a great movie. It's going to be a great Blu-ray, and we'll talk about that coming up also. But first, if you got to do the show, you got to do it right. I got to make sure that I have everything on my checklist here. First thing is, do I have a back scratcher? I swear, I don't know. I'm comparing myself to, Rush Limbaugh and Jim Rome and all the giants out there. How do they do a 3-hour show without a back scratcher? And that just drives me crazy. I don't know how they could do it. Also, I have to have a refreshing beverage here, and if my bosses are listening, no, it's not an adult beverage. It's okay. I have witnesses here, so it's okay. That's good stuff. And, of course, if you're going to do a geeky show of any kind whatsoever, you got to have a lightsaber. This is old blue. Got to have it with you at all times. Keeps the Minox at bay, the ones that chew on the power cables and stop the show and, have little glitches and that sort of thing. Got to have a lightsaber. And speaking of that, I have discovered something rather unique. Hey, San Antonio, y'all are now the home to the only geeky talk radio show on AM in the country. Think about that for a minute. San Antonio hosts the only one. We are it for geeky talk radio on the AM dial. Very proud of that. Very happy for that. And it's just another little feather in the cap of the awesomeness that is San Antonio. Right next to how we have the best breakfast tacos. Okay, so with that being said, let's move on to our first topic here. We want to say farewell to a giant, a legend, Mr. Tim Duncan.
Rajah Bell will be aware of that. They give it back to Ginobili. Nash all over him. O'Neal with the help. Takes it to the basket. Duncan, a three-pointer. Puts it up. It's good! Tim Duncan from three-point land ties the game!
Tim Duncan, no doubt the greatest power forward to ever play, probably one of the top 5 players to ever play the game. It's up for debate. You can rank it how you want, and every sports talk show out there has, so I'm not going to get into that. But I wanted to say farewell to Timmy. For 19 years, he's been a power forward for San Antonio, and it's really sad to see him go. Especially he didn't go out on top. He didn't win another ring, and but when it's time to go, it's just time to go. So he was on the cover of a Punisher comic book. It's him. He's given the keys over to, I think, a truck or a bike, some type of automobile, to the Punisher. And he's handed the keys over. It's a great cover. It really is. And it was written, hello, it's late night. It was drawn by Mike Choi, a local guy. I think he went to Judson ISD. And I asked him about the cover and drawing it, and he said it was one of the most unique and wonderful experiences he's ever had. And I asked him if he could give a quote about Tim Duncan retiring. Now, I find this interesting. Everybody's talked to Pop. Everybody's talked to teammates and Antonio Daniels and former teammates, and everyone's talked to everyone, but no one has asked Mike Choi for a quote. He was on a Punisher cover. How do you not ask this guy what he thinks? So he says, quote, "The absolute highlight of my career in comics was drawing him on that cover and getting to introduce him to my parents. My mom is a huge Spurs fan, huge, like she's still miffed that George Hill got traded. Even though we got Kawhi, she's still miffed. She loved George Hill. Kind of that kind of a Spurs fan, as are most San Antonians, and seeing her get a hug from Tim was one of the best moments of my life. He was so generous with his time, and you could see that his fans in the city of San Antonio meant so much to him." So farewell to Timmy. I got to find a copy of that somewhere. I got to get my hands on that Punisher comic. All righty. So farewell to Timmy. Farewell to Timmy. Let's get on to the meat of what we're really looking forward to here. Let's start talking Star Wars.
I'm looking forward to completing your training. In time, you will call me Master.
Yes, indeed. I love that remix. That's a really good remix. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Alamo City Comics up on 281 northbound, just a little bit beyond Brook Hollow. I've seen the store. I love the store. It's got posters. It's got art. It has figures from the 70s, the 80s. It has comics. It has old comics, new comics. It has walls and walls of action figures. Make your home Alamo City Comics. Okay, so Celebration Europe is going on right now. Every year now, Star Wars has what they call a celebration. It's a massive convention. I went to the one in Anaheim last year. They roll out all the big celebrities, the directors. Kathleen Kennedy goes, J.J. Abrams goes. Everybody goes to this. There's usually 30, 40, just 30, 40,000 people there. It's a huge convention, and it's also timed when they release some huge news. So the talk of the convention was everyone was looking forward to seeing Rogue One. Let's see a trailer. Here it comes. The movie's come out in December. This is the time. Let's see it. And there was a trailer, but it was released only to them. Star Wars has not put it up on YouTube yet. Yeah, nothing. Only the people who attended the panel at Celebration Europe got to see this trailer. That's it. Just those Londonites and those that flew over got to see it. Yeah, that's a lot of crap. I mean, come on. When Celebration Anaheim happened and they released the Force Awakens trailer, guess what? They released it on YouTube at roughly the same time. It was like, a few minutes or an hour's difference, give or take. Why can't we see this awesome trailer? The only thing you can see are a couple of, shaky cam, leaked footage trailers, and you don't really see very much at all. There's one in particular. It got like 1 thumbs up. Last time I saw it was 634 thumbs down. And I'm not exaggerating, because most of the time the guy has his camera pointed at the ceiling. It's like, thanks. That's just awesome. You got my click. Good for you. So no trailer at all, but instead they released what they call a sizzle reel. The sizzle reel was badass. I'm not going to lie. Oh, man, I got such geek bumps. That's right, not goosebumps, geek bumps, from watching this sizzle reel. And then I come to find out from friends of mine who are over there that, they showed that reel in the panel 3 times. 3 different times they showed that sizzle reel. How boring must that panel have been for them to say, okay, here's the sizzle reel, and everyone goes, oh my God, they're all excited, oh my God. Okay, and then they talk for a while, and then let's show it again. You're like, okay, all right, I'll get hyped. And then they talk for a while, they bring out some guests, and they talk for a little bit, and then they show it for a 3rd time. And by that time, you're like, well, why? Why am I even here? I get it. Yeah, explosions. Yeah, that's nice. Ooh, may the force be with us. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, thanks. So that was actually kind of a flop. Rogue One that did not go well at all for Star Wars and Lucasfilm. I feel sorry for him. The Rogue One trailer will be released at some point. I don't understand the logic of holding it back. Why, when you have literally hundreds of thousands or millions of people around the world watching the live stream and they're waiting for this trailer, but only the people in that one auditorium get to see it? Okay, I don't get the logic there at all. All right, so Rebels. Rebels was the highlight of Celebration Europe so far. We'll see what's released tomorrow. By the way, any news that's released, we immediately put it up on our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/GYGO official. Don't go to the pretenders. Go to the official one there. Rebels news was huge. Just absolutely monumentally huge. I admit I have not watched season 2. I watched the first couple episodes because season 1 was kind of a downer for me. I may start watching again based off the trailer. The bad news is it features, again, a lot of reoccurring characters. It features Hondo. There's Rex. There are battle droids. It looks like the Clone Wars Part 2, which has been my biggest criticism of Rebels to date. It's like Filoni said, oh, okay, Disney, you won't let me finish the Clone Wars? Fine, I'll finish it in Rebels instead. It's just more of the Clone Wars, and it drives me crazy. I so badly wanted this show to stand on its own, and they didn't let it. It just drove me crazy. And now again, here we see reoccurring characters, Hondo, Rex, and battle droids. Okay, all right. Further on in the trailer, you see Mandalorians. Okay, good. Mandalorians, the badass, ass-kicking, just awesome characters that they are, for like 2 seconds. It looks like there might be a little character development for Sabine, which is good. She's changed her hair again. That's that's nice. And she has Vizsla's lightsaber, that black, dark saber with the white outline. Looks really awesome. I can appreciate that. And then it looks like they've made some changes to Ezra. They're making Ezra look older than he did. He's taller. He's leaner. He's got this nice little short haircut, which, as all guys know, short hair means you're older, I guess. I don't have much hair left, so I got nothing else to talk about in that department. So he looks older, and it looks like he's getting ready to go dark, which is what people kind of suspected from season 2. He's talking with Darth Maul more. He has a Sith holocron. He's definitely getting more aggressive. He wants to be more powerful. He actually states, "I want to be more powerful." So much for subtlety. And it's only going to fuel speculation that Ezra really is Snoke from The Force Awakens. The only thing that doesn't quite match up is the timeline. Like, where was he in the original trilogy if he really was Snoke? I don't quite get that one. Where's that whole 35-year gap? What happened there? But it almost seems to make a little more sense about if he does go dark. If they find a way, I don't know, he's frozen in carbonite or something. If they can find a way, it could actually work. And of course, this is keeping in mind that Snoke is still the single dumbest Star Wars name I've ever heard. I actually think Salacious Crumb is a better name than Snoke. Seriously, Supreme Leader Snoke? Let's see, let's think about the biggest, baddest villains. Jabba the Hutt, villain. Darth Vader, good name, solid name, villain. Emperor Palpatine, solid name until we found out his name was Sheev. Okay. And now you have Snoke. Yeah, it didn't exactly inspire a lot of fear but whatever. Okay, so Ezra looks like he's going a little bit more dark on this. And then we get the one image that drives all the fanboys crazy. No matter what side of the spectrum you're on, Grand Admiral Thrawn is in Rebels. We knew about this. We figured it was coming for a while, and now we get to see him. And it's the Grand Admiral Thrawn that we all knew from the novels. It's him talking about arts and philosophy and knowing the history of your enemy. Okay, all right. And he looks like he's a more fearsome opponent. Here's my thing, though. Here's what I want. I want a real villain in Star Wars again, because there hasn't really been a villain, certainly not in the animated series, since Grievous in 2003. Well, but there was Count Dooku in the Clone Wars. Yeah, he doesn't count because every time he fought Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin, you knew nothing was going to happen. Because they fight again in Revenge of the Sith, so clearly they're not going to kill each other in the Clone Wars. There's no tension there. Yay, they fight each other. I know nothing's going to happen. That was the result of it. Oh, what about Ventress? Yeah, so she runs away at the end of every fight. Grievous in the Clone Wars in 2008 was beaten by Gungans. Gungans. The Jar Jar Binks species. Yeah, that's not a villain to me. A villain is someone who actually pushes back against the heroes, who challenges the heroes and makes the heroes rise to their full potential to overcome this guy. He takes the fight to them. That's what I loved about the 2003 Grievous. If you saw that series, the original Clone Wars that now Lucas is trying to wipe out of canon entirely, that's documented. I'm sorry for that. Grievous put fear into the Jedi. Actual fear into the Jedi. This guy was menacing. He was a great duelist. He was fantastic. He was awesome. And then in 2008, he got beat by Gungans. God, that's not a villain. It's just not. I want Thrawn to be a villain. Other than Vader, he'd be the first, what I would consider, real villain of Rebels. The Inquisitor had such potential. Oh, man, not only was he dueling and out-dueling Kanan, but he knew what style he was using. He had studied the Jedi. He was fantastic. And they killed him in one season. They killed him at the end of season 1. I mean, Okay, so then you have Agent Callus from the Imperial Intelligence Bureau, or whatever they call themselves. So surely he is going to be a great villain. No, he's not. He's just not. Well, all right, here comes Tarkin. Oh, man, Grand Moff Tarkin. Here he comes. Yes! He's in for like 2 episodes, and then that's it. He rules from behind a desk. Yeah. Okay, Vader comes in, and finally we have a villain worthy of the show. Because all the other ones until now have been stupid. They've been wastes of screen time. But now we finally have, I'm hoping, Filoni, Dave Filoni, executive producer, please let Thrawn be a good villain. Keep in mind that this is the guy, Dave Filoni, worked on the Last Airbender series. Not the movie. No. He worked on the series. He knows good villains. Azula, Zuko, the Fire Lord. Those are fantastic villains. Really fantastic. That's great writing. If you haven't seen the Last Airbender series, you got to see it. I'm not kidding. It's right up there with like the Batman animated series for me as like one of the greatest animated series of all time. It's either that, the Batman animated series is also really good, or Animaniacs. I mean, either way, you can't go wrong with Animaniacs. But see the Last Airbender series. That's excellent writing, excellent villains, excellent characters. Just a fantastic show top to bottom. I strongly recommend it. Okay, the last little bit of news that I got out of Celebration Europe here was Mark Hamill revealed that there was, well, first of all, Mark Hamill, again, was asked to do a Joker impression. And this happens at every celebration. I was at the one in Orlando in 2012 where he did the what do you call it? Not epilogue, eulogy for the Batman. Remember, they thought that the little guy had killed him, and so he said, "And so I won't smile again until we take that man there, put him in that box there, and roll him into that vat of acid there." That eulogy was just classic. He brought the house down with that one. And now he does some dialogue from The Killing Joke at Celebration London. Ooh, If you haven't seen the video, you need to see the video. It is creepy. It's really good. So he also revealed, he has like a little sit down and a little one-on-one Q&A. And he revealed that there was some concept art for The Force Awakens where he and Rey were in scuba gear for The Force Awakens. Yeah, scuba gear. So what does this really mean? Well, first of all, it means that there was actual dialogue for the movie for Luke Skywalker. It wasn't just, oh, God, sorry, spoiler alert, Luke doesn't say anything. Okay, we got that out of the way. So there was actual dialogue in there somewhere because I don't think that Mark Hamill would look at Rey, take the lightsaber, point at her, and then point at the scuba gear, and then they go swimming. I think he would actually have said something to her. But what is this? What would this have meant? Scuba gear? What is under the water that they need to go see? What is under the water? Is it a training thing? Is there something down there for her? There's a rumor going around that it means it'll be our first ever underwater lightsaber duel. Yeah. I know Jedi are all powerful in that, but they can only hold their breath for a few minutes. Oh, but they got those rebreather things. Really, you think Luke Skywalker has one of those little rebreather things just hanging around? I guess it's possible. You know, it's over there next to the rock that he has like daily conversations with. If you're by yourself on an island, you do tend to go a little crazy. So I don't know. Maybe he does. I don't know. But if there's a duel underwater, then who are they fighting? What's going on? Why would they have scuba gear? Now, whenever anything happens underwater, it's usually slow. If you've seen like The Abyss, which was James Cameron, all the underwater scenes, if somebody tries to punch or move, they all move really slow. Jaws, when they're under the water and they're going after, I think it was Ben Hansen's boat, and they find that giant, piece of tooth and whatnot, it's all really slow. So you can't really have a fast-paced, like Phantom Menace type of duel if you're under the water. So kind of curious as to what was supposed to happen there. I don't have the first idea myself, but I want to know what was cut. I want to know what lines were cut. Okay, so we have ourselves a contest. Facebook.com/GYGO official. I'm giving away a Starfleet Academy ring and a Boba Fett wristwatch. Anyone is still available. If you're listening now, you can go over there. You can still enter for another about, 33 minutes. Except for Goose, my sound prognosticator. He can't. Sorry. Although I guess, no, there's just no. There was no way. So, but you can still enter, and at starting 12:01 a.m., I will cut off the contest, and I will announce the winner on Facebook, and I will ship globally for free. I have a lot of international listeners, a lot of people in Canada, the UK, Philippines, some in France and Germany. I'll ship anywhere. It doesn't matter, because I want to give something back to y'all. So please keep that in mind. Facebook.com/GYGO official. Coming up, I know we're starting to get up against the break here. I have some Pokemon Go numbers for you that is just going to blow your mind as far as just how big the game is, and especially how quickly it's grown. It's I know you think, oh yeah, I see people at the park and they're all playing. Yeah, but you need to understand how massive this is on a national scale. Plus, of course, it came out in Europe finally, and go figure, the servers crashed. Nintendo's also getting ready in November to release a little something. We're going to talk about that coming up and why you want it just as bad as I want it. And then, of course, I want to talk about The Killing Joke. And that's going to be coming up around the corner before the Suicide Squad movie comes out. Killing Joke is coming out. I want to talk about that in a big way also. It deserves to be talked about. I think it's being overlooked, actually, by a large number of people. Everyone's focusing on Suicide Squad, and there's not a lot of focus going on for The Killing Joke, which is a shame because it's really well drawn, it's really well done, really well written, and it's creepy. And, of course, after that, we're going to be throwing people into the Sarlacc pit. That's always fun. I always love that one. It's probably my most favorite part of the show, actually. I think it is for a lot of people. It's just good stress relief. It's just throwing people into the Sarlacc pit that annoy the heck out of you. So we'll be doing that coming up right here after the break. Don't forget to check us out on our podcast here at 9:30 amtheanswer.com. Ah, yes, indeed. I think if you're going to do a geek show, yes, you're going to play some Star Wars music. Yes, you're going to play some Marvel music. Why not some Hendrix, some AC/DC, some Guns N' Roses? Let's do this right. That's right, San Antonio. It's after 11:30 here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Play some Hendrix, you know? I mean, something. Wake people up. Love it. All right. So earlier we talked about Rogue One, we talked about Rebels, we talked about Celebration Europe and Mark Hamill and Daisy Ridley in scuba gear. Daisy Ridley in a wetsuit. Yeah, okay, I can deal with that. But let's move on here and let's start talking about some video game news here, shall we? I love it. I'm such an 80s child, and I've been playing video games as long as I can remember. Pretty sure I had a controller in my hand before I could walk. And here we are, and we're still playing video games late into our 30s and 40s, and that includes Pokemon. And Pokemon Go has come out, and it has taken America by storm in the biggest way. I put up on our Facebook page a video, and I did this just before we went on air, facebook.com/GYGOofficial. There was a sighting of a rare Pokemon in Central Park. Oh, yes. Well, first of all, you can imagine what Central Park is like. I went to a local park not 2 miles from where I live, and there were, I kid you not, 14 people there playing Pokemon. It was like around a playground, around a kid's playground. 14 people. So imagine what Central Park is like. Now imagine a Vaporeon is found. Vaporeon is a somewhat, it's rare to find it in the wild. You have to evolve it yourself. There, and I have video of an actual stampede of people, hundreds of people running to where this was found in Central Park. So go check out the video. It's rather amusing. We're crazy about it. Within a week of Pokemon Go being released, Nintendo's stock jumped 53%. Wish I'd gotten in on that. Yeah. They added, inside of a week, $7.5 billion in value. This coming from one mobile game, which, by the way, is free to play. Free to play. You want to know how much money they're making on this? They're making $2 million bucks a day. Nintendo is making $2 million per day, usually based off microtransactions, because as much as people praise this game for making people get out and walk around, yeah, there are still some lazy butts out there who like to pay money. So $2 million a day for Nintendo. That's not bad. I wouldn't mind just one day of that. That'd be nice. So how popular is the Pokemon Go game? Well, to put it in comparison, the two most recent mobile apps that were the most popular were Clash Royale and something called Slither.io. I'd never heard of that one. Clash Royale I knew. I hadn't heard of the other one. And they had daily user levels at 1.67% and 0.84%. Well, what does that mean? It means people who play it every single day. Yeah, that's what they hit 4 days after launch. Pokemon Go hit 10%. 10%. Clash Royale hit 1.6. Slither.io hit 0.8. Pokemon Go hit 10. First game to do that. First game to hit 10%. Yeah, it's already the biggest mobile game of 2016, and it hit that level within 24 hours. Yeah, okay. You want more? I can give you more. Okay, so here's how big the game is. There are more people playing Pokemon Go than using Twitter. Think about that for a minute, okay? Donald Trump, regardless of what you think of him, he released to the nation who his VP candidate was through Twitter. That was the first big announcement. That's how they released it, because Twitter is huge. Yeah, more people are playing Pokemon Go than Twitter. There are also more people playing it than Candy Crush. Candy Crush, of course, everyone knows about that one. They all make fun of it, of course, but yeah, it's bigger than that. You want more examples? I can provide more examples. Let's provide more examples. 1,600 people showed up at Kyle Field. Kyle Field, the home of the A&M football Aggies. Yeah, 1,600 people showed up there to catch Pokemon, including football players. Football players actually took time out of their busy day to, I'm sure they're working really hard to become, students. Those poor football players, they're trying so hard to earn their degree. I'm sure they're studying hard. Well, they put down their textbooks, sure, and they came out to catch Pokemon along with 1,600 people. The stadium holds about 105,000 people, so they just let them out on the field. 1,600 people showed up for that, just to catch Pokemon. Oh, my goodness. But there is now officially some backlash. And I'm not talking social media backlash. I've seen it where people are like, hey, Pokemon players, you need to stop, walking off cliffs. Yeah, okay, all right, there's been some backlash. But now it's taken a whole new level. The Association for American Families has utilized their website to gather signatures on a petition to ban Pokemon Go. That's right, this right-leaning group, nonprofit, the Association for American Families, wants to ban Pokemon Go. Oh, okay, so they got 1,500 signatures, 2,000 signatures. Yeah, no, they're up to 767,000 signatures. 767,000 signatures to ban Pokemon Go. And I read some of the petition from their website, and here's their basis for it. Try not to laugh too hard. The Association for American Families decided to petition for the outright ban because they believe the app is a highly dangerous and unwanted distraction to the children and young adults of America. Because kids weren't distracted before. They weren't distracted when Grand Theft Auto came out. They weren't distracted when Candy Crush came out. They weren't distracted when Angry Birds came out. But no, Pokemon Go is the one that's made them so distracted and dangerous. But it goes on. And I'm serious about this. I'm not making this up. This is right off their website. In the past week, this application has caused several automobile accidents, resulted in the stabbing of children, multiple children, and led 3 women to a dead body. These young women do not deserve to spend the rest of their lives harboring the gruesome image that they unexpectedly stumbled upon. Okay, first of all, so the app has caused several automobile accidents. Yeah, I haven't seen a source confirming that yet. I saw one that was fake. It was very, very much so fake. I haven't seen anything that says that it caused several automobile accidents. I'm sure it has, because there are idiots out there who are driving, staring at their phones instead of the highway. But I'm pretty sure they were doing that before Pokemon Go. I'm pretty sure they were doing it, with Ingress, and I'm pretty sure they were doing it with other apps as well. Now, Goose, my sound prognosticator, what's going on here?
So, Pokemon Go led to finding 3 dead bodies, which then could lead to 1 to 3 criminals going to jail.
It could. It actually absolutely could. I mean, it's not like, these are, or you know what? How about peace for the families of those that were missing and now found? Yeah. So, I also haven't heard about the stabbing of multiple children. That's news to me. I haven't heard that. I've heard that people were using it to lure people to jump them and steal their phones and mug them and stuff. But I hadn't heard about the stabbings. That's news to me. And I love this. This quote is just awesome. These young women do not deserve to spend the rest of their lives harboring the gruesome image. That's right, women. Y'all are just, petite, fragile little things. You just, heaven forbid, y'all stumble upon something unpleasant. No, we need to shield women from anything unexpectedly bad.
So we talk about the women who found the dead bodies or the dead bodies? Because I'm sure they, didn't expect to be dead.
Well, that's probably true, too. I mean, it's pretty rare that someone expects to be dead. I usually expect it if I say something about my wife's cooking. But even still, I expect my body to be found. I think, and again, there are grief counselors for that sort of thing, but they're going to bring some closure to someone's life.
Maybe when some people play Pokemon Go, they'll find your body.
I can only hope. I did hear a story about somebody up in North Texas that was bit by a copperhead, which is a poisonous snake, for those of y'all who don't know what a copperhead is. But that's because, again, the idiot wasn't even walking along a trail. He was walking through the park, through the high grass and all that. I mean, it says right there when you first turn on Pokemon Go, what's it say? Please be aware of your surroundings. But okay, so if you choose not to be aware of your surroundings, I don't think that's the app's fault. I'm pretty sure it's your. I need to double check on that. If I do something, common sense. If I don't pay attention to my surroundings, but the game tells me to, is it my fault or the game? No, it's easier to blame the game. We'll just blame the game instead of common sense. Good gracious! But still, 767,000 signatures. Oh, geez. Okay, so also coming out for Nintendo. Nintendo's going to be making even more money on November 11th. November 11th, I am marking the calendar. I'm marking the date. I've got an alarm set on my phone because they are coming out with a miniature Nintendo Entertainment System. Let me tell you a little story about the NES. It was my most favorite and most memorable Christmas gift. I never got the original Megatron that I wanted, but I got the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was like 1986 or 7 or somewhere around there.
So the day after that is a Saturday. November 11th is a Friday. Should we just record the 12th show? The November 12th show on Thursday?
Can we do it while we play the game?
No.
Can we?
There's only one TV in the studio.
I'll bring one in.
You could possibly live game on the air. That'd be fun.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Okay, so here's what it is. It is a Nintendo Entertainment System that fits in the palm of your hand. Literally. I tried. I looked. Even the Nintendo website didn't say what the dimensions were, but there are pictures on the box of it being held in someone's hand, so it's got to be pretty small. Now, sadly, if you take your actual Nintendo cartridge and try to jam it in there, yeah, it ain't going to work, so don't bother. But that's okay because it will be built in with 30 classic games. So
do you have to, open the lid and put some compressed air in there first?
Well, I think... I don't know if compressed air works. I usually just blow on it. If you're going to go old school and retro, just go old school. Get down on your hands and knees and just start blowing in there, like we all did. Take a little Q-tip, and then you have to beat on it. You have to hit the power button a bunch of times to make it work. Oh, okay. All right. So you can connect it to your TV with an HDMI cable. So that's good, HDMI quality. It will include one controller, designed to work just like the iconic rectangular NES gamepad. So the old school one, actually I'm wearing it. Of course it's radio, so no one can see, but my sound prognosticator can see it, and that's okay. So it's the actual controller that you're going to get, but you only get one. You can get another one for $9.99, but you can only get one. Oh, he's going to take a picture. Hang on. Okay, let's take the picture. You got the picture. Cool, we'll put that up on Facebook. That'll be good news. Okay, so we're taking a picture of us doing radio that we're going to put on Facebook. What a world we live in. I love it. All right, in addition to the HDMI support and, of course, the lack of cartridges, the new mini console also features multiple suspend points. Yes, save features so you don't have to worry about putting in a 16-character password for an 8-bit game. That always drove me crazy. But here's the best part. Are you ready for the best part? Here comes the best part. The 30 games I mentioned include the following: Castlevania 1 and 2. We can play Castlevania 1 and 2 again. Dr. Mario, Excitebike, the original Final Fantasy game, Ghosts and Goblins. That one gave me nightmares. That was Kid Icarus, classic. Mega Man 2. Not 1 or 3, but maybe there'll be an expansion for it. But you get Mega Man 2, which is really good. Love the music in that one. Metroid, the original Metroid game. We're getting that back. Super Mario 1, 2, and 3 are coming back. Good. Zelda 1 and 2. I never beat Zelda 2. I came close. I got up to the Shadow Link, but couldn't actually get there. So Zelda 2 is coming back. And Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden is the game that taught me how to swear. It is, and I'm pretty sure if you're listening, it taught you a few things as well. My God, that game is the most infuriating, frustrating, unbelievable, rule-breaking, never-ending, spawning enemies game you'll ever see, and I loved every minute of it. I can't wait for this thing. So I've already put in a word with the wife and said, please, 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 please. And she said that if I do every bit of housework between now and November 11th, and she never has to lift a finger again, I can get it. So guess what I'm doing as soon as I get home? I'm kidding. She's going to listen to this later and she'll kill me, but that's okay, because my body will be found by someone playing Pokemon Go. Okay. So we got that going on. That's just classic. I love it. I can't wait for this to come out. I know there are emulators out there. There's a video game store on San Pedro near North Star Mall. It's like right there off of 410. It's by the Twin Peaks. I forget the name of it. But they sell controllers with USB ports. So you can have the controller and plug it into your computer and play off an emulator like old school. But it's not the same. I've tried it on an emulator, and it's not the same. And there are different kind of consoles out there that you can actually get your controller, plug it in, you can get your cartridge and plug it in, but it's still just not the same. It's having that NES again. It's having that gray box again. It's like Christmas morning again. I'm excited. I'm really hyped up for this. Plus, the game lineup is fantastic. It's just phenomenal. I'm looking forward to this. $60. $60 for 30 games, one controller, and the console. I have my own Fortress of Solitude at my house. It's a study, but I've got all sorts of geeky stuff up in there, including my PS4, including my Atari 2600, which works. I love that. I have a library of games for that one. I can't wait to add this. This is going to be fun. Oh, man. It's the 80s all over again. Love it, love it, love it. Alrighty, so with that being said, I want to talk about not Suicide Squad, but something come up a little sooner. Let's talk about The Killing Joke.
I want to leap over buildings, want to fly over the shores, save the people from the villains, catch the crooks who rob the stores, write my name upon the sky, and when you call me, I'll be there, faster than a lightning flash, rushing through the cool night air.
Alrighty. That's some somber stuff. I love it. It's not as upbeat as like what we do for Marvel, but DC is not really that upbeat either. I like that music. I really do. I really do. Okay. Killing Joke. What is The Killing Joke? Killing Joke is a graphic novel that was put out some time ago, and it really delves deep into the Joker's psyche. Who is he? What was he before he was the Joker? How did he get to be the Joker? And then it takes a decidedly dark twist. I don't want to give too much away because it's a fantastic graphic novel, not for the darkness of it, but for I don't even know where to begin. I mean, the ending is tremendous, and what happens is gruesome and horrifying, but incredible all at the same time. And I just, from start to finish, it's a great graphic novel that they're now going to be making into a full-fledged movie. And then, of course, it'll come out on Blu-ray. But the movie comes out. It's going to be premiering at the San Diego Comic-Con on Friday, that's coming Friday, and then it'll come to theaters on Monday the 25th and Blu-ray on August 2nd.
The Killing Joke, by and large, is probably one of the best psychological Batman graphic novels ever.
And that's something about Batman in general. Batman in general deals more with the psychological. That comes out really in The Dark Knight, when the Joker, he's not your typical villain. He's not. He even says he's an agent of chaos, and you're like, well, what does that mean? And when he burns the money, everything burns. Well, what does that mean? It makes you think. It really does. And this takes it to a whole new level. I
do want to say this is a rated R.
Yes.
DC Direct movie.
It is. It is the first ever, I believe.
DC Direct first rated R. Superman Doomsday was the first PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be the first rated R because it is that.
Well,
it is.
Let's talk about what we're dealing with in The Killing Joke. The Killing Joke. I don't want to give too much out here for people who haven't read it or you want to see it later. We're dealing with shootings, of course. We're dealing with psychological torture. We're dealing with nudity as well. I mean, there's some in there, but it's all the Joker. The overall thing is that the Joker's trying to break Commissioner Gordon. He's trying to literally drive him insane. And part of it is, he just rips his clothes from him and he has to go around naked and all that to try to break him. And what he does to break him, that really that's the gruesome part. It's how the Joker goes about trying to break a man's will. It's similar to what happened in The Dark Knight, only in concept, when he tries to break Harvey Dent. But he's going for total insanity. He's not trying to make Gordon into a villain like him. He's trying to just trying to make him snap altogether. And then the ending is controversial. The ending is much talked about. The ending it makes you wonder what just happened. And it's a smarter graphic novel. It's a graphic novel that makes you think. And that'll be coming out here pretty soon. The theatrical event, if you go see it on Monday, which on the 25th, which I plan on, knock on wood, if I can, make it there. I should be able to make it. It will include a documentary that, I'm quoting from the DC website. It's a never-before-seen documentary about how Mark Hamill was cast in this project and what the role means to him as an actor and as a fan. And this will also include a special behind-the-scenes look at how the Joker's memorable yet disturbing song and dance number was recreated. Keep in mind, Mark Hamill said he was pretty much done with the Joker. This is he said, yeah, I'm moving on. I've got Star Wars to do again. I'm pretty much done with this. Unless, of course, y'all ever decide to do the Killing Joke. And here they are. And sure enough, they got Kevin Conroy to come back as Batman. They got Mark Hamill to come back and do the Joker. And this is, considering that I think it's like only an hour and a half long. I'm not sure what the running time is, but it's short for a movie. This is still going to be something to see. And the Blu-ray will come out on August the 2nd. Mark Hamill I'm sorry, not Mark Hamill. I've already talked about Mark Hamill. Kevin Conroy was asked about this, and he said, what's wonderful about getting back in the booth with Mark Hamill, it's because of that Batman-Joker relationship. It's like the Joker defines Batman and Batman defines the Joker. It's the dark and the light, and sometimes it feels like either of us wouldn't exist completely without the other, and Mark and I work so well together. So Kevin Conroy, if anybody knows about Batman, he's been doing Batman for over 20 years now. It's like 23, 24 years, something like that. So I think he would, Kevin Conroy, he would know the Batman and the Joker the best. Okay, so we're starting to come up against it here. Let's talk about the Sarlacc pit. Let's throw some people in.
What's going on?
We just got to the Sarlacc pit.
What's that?
It's this disgusting, horrible creature that's worse than anything you could ever imagine.
So every week here, this is the most fun. I love this one. Over on Facebook.com/GYGO official, I put this post up every week. Who would you throw into the Sarlacc pit? For me, I'm throwing in Lucasfilm. Because it's just not, I don't want to say it's right or anything like that, but really, why would you release a trailer only to that amphitheater for Rogue One and not release it to YouTube? What's the downside there? I just don't get it. So for me, put them in. Goose, you got somebody you want to throw in there?
I do. It is Marvel writer of Civil War II, Brian Michael Bendis. Not going to spoil anything for you. It has to do with Civil War II #3. I will reference our previous program where I went on my little Marvel rant. And if you listen to that and then read about Civil War II #3, you'll understand why.
All right. Well, take him and put him in. Ben Hart is on here, and he says, all the Star Wars Legends fans who are complaining about Thrawn showing up in Rebels and the new book, even though this is exactly what they've been begging for. Take those fans, those idiots and morons, and put them in. Steven Schinder is on the Facebook page and says, whoever made the decision to play Rogue One sizzle reel 3 times without showing the new trailer on the Celebration live stream, put them in. Phil Solis says, pages that post slanderous lies about a mentally ill man. Yeah, there's a page on Facebook called The Force is Strong with This Page, and they posted a story about Jake Lloyd and how he was jailed for drug-related crimes. Absolutely not true. Put them in. Let's see. Gary Carr wants his 2 ex-wives. Put them in. Last one I got here, Billy Ross is on here and says he wants to throw in Pokemon Go players that whine that a server is down for a free game. Put them in. All right. Well, special thanks to Alamo City Comics. Special thanks to the Grawlix CMS. Special thanks to Alamo City Fleet Command as well. Want to go ahead and say thanks to y'all. Stay geeky, everyone. And if you can, make sure you get your geek on every single day. Good night, it's San Antonio.